Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Historic Challenges here on MotoGP 20. Now, something I can't understand is, I've just gone onto the mode and I've now got 41,300 diamonds and I've got less riders and teams than I had before again. So we're going to the Historic Market then. So we've got the Honda team from 2000, we'll buy that. Caparossi 2003, who I'm sure we bought in the previous episode, but apparently we've lost him again, so obviously something has happened to my save file for whatever reason. So we bought him now. And then Max Biaggi 2004, which takes us down to 35,300 diamonds. So the difficult challenge today is at Mugello, which is actually, someone did ask if we could do Mugello at some point, so there we go, we finally get to do it. So let's go over to the official riders. And so we obviously have got most of the 4-stroke riders now actually, it's mainly the 2-strokes we haven't got, you can see there's only a few missing here. And I believe somebody wanted me to play as Barros at Mugello, so we'll play as Barros. Obviously it's going to be wet, so that is going to definitely change things up a little bit. And also, I'm really bad at Mugello, so this should be quite interesting. So then we're down here on the grid, and it seems like in this category we can actually change the tyre compound we have. So I'm definitely putting a medium on the rear. I'll keep a soft on the front, because the front isn't usually where I struggle in the rain. So obviously we're on a 990, so hopefully we'll actually be able to pass some of the slower bikes on the straight. Obviously the 800s, although to be honest, they rev higher, so they're actually probably slightly faster on the straight. So we've probably got the slowest bikes on the straight here, which obviously for Mugello is not ideal. Obviously you'd want a bike that's pretty fast on the straights at Mugello. But we'll start anyway, and hopefully we can try and get another win here, but it's going to be difficult, that's for sure. So Nicky on pole then, Biaggi alongside him, Ukawa also on the front row, because obviously Barros isn't on there, because that's where he usually starts, on the front row. Wait for the lights to go out, lights out and away we go here. Oh, bit of a wheelie, I thought we got away with that one. We've not had a terrible start, so we're still 6th as we go towards the first corner. A few, well, basically all Hondas except Biaggi in front of us. So we hit the brakes for the first corner, then Spider-Man Melandri almost hitting us. So we go through the first corner, Hayden's been shuffled down a few positions. Is Biaggi going to hit the front? I think Biaggi is going to hit the front. And I've just used a terrible gear through that corner and I'm down. So hopefully I don't just lose the front again, like I did this time. Lights out and away we go. Oh, we've actually got a better start. Ukawa's just weaved over to the left-hand side for some reason, unbeknownst to me why he's done that. But we're up to 3rd place now, so it's actually been a fantastic start. Got the run on Biaggi. We've had to lift though, because he's sort of moved over on us a bit. So we go into turn 1, we're on the inside of Biaggi. And, oh, Kato's hit us. Katos has hit us into Biaggi. We've lost a few places now in the middle of the pack. Rossi's got through, Burns got through. Ukawa's got back through. I think Vermeulen's trying to come around the outside. But we're now back down to 6th place, so the good start kind of got a bit ruined there by Kato, obviously hitting us wide and it did distract us, and we've not changed gear for such a long time. We're finally in a position to change gear. We're going around the outside of Ukawa, so Ukawa not seeming to be able to have his dry pace in the wet. There's been a crash behind, Lorenzo is down as well. We're still trying to hang it around the outside, well now on the inside of Ukawa, past Ukawa up into 5th place, and it's Byrne in 4th, Rossi 3rd, Biaggi 2nd, and Hayden in 1st, so usually there are obviously some riders that come through quickly. There's usually not the 2006 Rossi, although I suppose there's usually only one Rossi per race, and sometimes the Rossi does come through. Obviously the Ducati Rossi absolutely blasted past us in one of the previous challenges at Aragon. So we hit the brakes then for Scaparia. Just got to make sure we don't lose the front. You can see Hayden's actually getting away at the front now, getting away from Biaggi. Because obviously Biaggi, Rossi and Byrne aren't particularly right near the front most of the time, as we've gone a bit wide to Corantaio. So we're closing on the Aprilia Cube there, the RS Cube of Byrne as we go into the last corner, and Byrne seems to be closing on Rossi actually on the 2006 M1. Trying to pull alongside him, but we haven't quite got the exit speed, but we are going to now if we can try and get a distant tow from Rossi. So we've passed Byrne, we're back up into 4th position. Hayden's obviously got a bit of a lead here, so Rossi is now the next target. So 2 Yamahas in front of us. There's not usually so many Yamahas near the front, except the Valencia challenge we did obviously, where it was all sort of 2012 riders at the front. That was quite interesting. Into Luca, obviously we crashed there on the previous attempt. So we're closing right up to Valentino now. We're going to be definitely making a move on him very, very shortly. Biaggi seems to have got away from him a little bit, and Biaggi, if anything, might be closing up to Hayden actually. Through the Biondetti then, this is where the AI are usually a bit slow on the exit of the Biondetti. Although actually Rossi's not done too badly there as we go towards Buccini. Oh, the front felt like it was about to fold, then I had to let back off the brakes. So we go through Buccini on the power earlier than Rossi. We're on the power harder than Rossi, it seems, trying to go around the outside of him, but we can't quite do it. So we're in the slipstream then. As we come up towards the line, we should be able to out-drag him to the line. Yes, we can, because he did that weird thing that AI did where they let off. Hayden did a 51.1, we did a 51.3, almost a 51.4, although his was almost a 51.2, so we'll keep it at the first decimal place. Oh, the rear is sliding. So Burns has got past Rossi as well now, but Biaggi is now up next. Hayden's just done a 50.8, I've just done a 50.4, so we are going quicker than Hayden. We are closing to Biaggi as well. So hopefully we should have the pace to get past Biaggi and then start to close in on Hayden as we go through San Donato. Oh, the rear started to step out then. As we close up to Biaggi through Casanova, we're going to be able to look at the inside into Savelli. No, not quite. We are all over the back of him now. So we're all over the back of Biaggi then as we go towards Buccini up the inside into Buccini on Biaggi. Are we going to get it stopped? I don't think so. So he's probably going to come back underneath us. But if we get on the power earlier, we should be able to get the cutback once again. Yes, we can. So we're now past Biaggi. Right, what's going to be the gap to Hayden when we go over the line? It's probably going to be quite big because I think he probably will have done a new fastest lap again. Yeah, 50.4. So what I did on the previous lap, although I've just done 50.1. So starting lap 6 then, I did the new fastest lap of the race once again. We're now only a second behind Hayden, so we took a couple of tenths out of him on that lap. As we come towards Buccini then, we're all over the back of Nicky Hayden. I am in power mode 0 because actually I'm going to run out of fuel if I don't save some. And he's lost the rear on the exit of Buccini, so we're on the inside now. We've taken the lead here on the exit of Buccini just because Hayden lost the rear end. So I'm guessing he's hit some sort of tyre troubles. Obviously the track is drying, so the tyre's going to spin more. So 49.0, I think I did a 49.0 on the previous lap. So the lap times are going to be faster every single lap just because the track conditions are improving. So we're about to start the final lap then, 49.2, so actually getting a bit slower now, but I'm having to run much more power mode 0 just because of how much the bike maxes out on the straight. It just uses up so much fuel. So as we come towards the line then here at Mugello, it's a pretty easy victory in the end. We absolutely dominated that one. We had the pace over all the AI. So apparently Byrne and Rossi set faster laps than me. In fact, it seems like a lot of the AI set faster laps than me. But I didn't feel threatened by any of them. I'm guessing it's just the simulations that they always do. A lot of retirements. 15th down to 20. Well, obviously, up to 15th. So that's six riders retiring from the race. That is really, that's a lot. And I'm guessing Kato just carried on then. Kato still got 10th, although I guess that's just more of a virtue if there wasn't many people behind him still left to beat him. So I'll have a look at some of those crashes that happened in the race then. There must have been quite a few. So on board with Kato then as we go towards the first corner. He's still behind us at this point. He goes to the inside, he just trails too much brake, it seems like, and just washes the front out. I know, you can see that's probably where the other crash happened behind, and Kato just ran over one of the people as he's rejoining the circuit. Oh, there's another crash there as well. If we slow this down, look, he went sort of for a move on the inside of me, realised he's probably going to hit me, so then sort of put more brake on. And that was just enough to have him down, a bit like what happened to us in the first attempt at turn 2. And you see the bike just skittles across. So this is on board with Roberts Jr. then. You see Capirossi, actually I think he'd already started to sit up before Kato went down, but he still had to avoid him. And then Gibernau just hits Roberts Jr. Actually, I don't know how Nakano even stayed on from hitting Kato's bike there. But Roberts Jr. gets tapped, he goes into the path of Nakano, and down they both go as well. I think Nakano got dragged a bit wide and eventually crashed. It's on board Capirossi. Obviously, I think he just sat up to avoid Kato, but then Kato crashed anyway, so that was probably a good idea for him to do that. Kato's bike smacks into Nakano. Nakano somehow doesn't go down. Oh, and Capirossi actually got involved in this. As those two get dragged wide, Capirossi got sent up into the air and fell off. Wow, poor old Capirossi. So this is Nakano now then. So poor Nakano couldn't catch a break here, so he gets hit by Kato's bike. He then gets hit by Roberts that's like sort of ricocheted into him, and then he unfortunately still dragged. He gets then hit by Capirossi. Still stays on. Don't tell me he stayed on. Okay. As soon as he hit the gravel, then he fell off because of the angle he had. But I think if there was tarmac, he probably would have stayed on there, according to the game physics. So there's a crash with Pedrosa here, apparently. So he avoids me, smacks into Vermeulen, smacks into Dovi, and then I think he collects Troy Bayliss by the looks of it. We'll slow that down and have a look again in a second. So a little bit similar to what Navarro did yesterday. He saw me really overreact, so he gets out of throttle, then goes over to the right hand side, smacks right into Vermeulen and somehow doesn't crash. So obviously then gets ricocheted then back in front of his teammate Dovizioso, and that causes him to crash. So it's on board with Bayliss then. You can see Pedrosa crashes and bam, Bayliss just goes straight into him. He can't avoid him. Poor old Bayliss. So if we slow it down then, you can see obviously Pedrosa's bike sort of crashes in the middle of the track. Nothing Bayliss can particularly do because he's sort of sandwiched between Melandri and Stoner. And that just takes him down. He was very, very unfortunate to be involved in that. And I think the one more crash here, Lorenzo just sits up, goes in hot, loses the front. Down he goes. That's just his own mistake. So if we slow it down, Again, actually, to be honest, it looks like an overreaction to me, but really, it looks like he's probably going to hit us at the back, so he's sat up to avoid us. At least he hasn't done a McDoing. Then he's gone in a full lean on a bit of tarmac runoff, which isn't going to be as grippy as the track. And then he's crashed into the gravel. So then we get our 15,000 diamonds for winning that challenge, which brings us up to 50,300. We have got so many now. So on the market then, Gibernau 2003 for 2,900. The Yamaha team from 2006, it's 1,600. And Valentino Rossi from 2000 for 1,500. Which still leaves us with 44,000. So we now have 25 of the 41 riders and 22 of the 36 teams, apparently. That's what it says now. I wouldn't be surprised if it changes, because I don't think obviously it saved properly last time, so we need to make sure that it definitely saves properly. But I hope you did enjoy that one. Obviously it didn't take me too many times, in fact I did it on the second attempt. Quite a few crashes at the beginning there, very interesting to look at. I didn't think Mugello would be such a crash fest, but I guess one incident sort of ricocheted into all the other ones, because obviously Cato's crash was trying to go underneath me, put me on a funny line. That's what caused obviously Pedrosa then to have to avoid me and hit Vermeulen, and then obviously have that crash with Bayliss on the exit of the corner. Then obviously there was the other crash with Nakano and Kenny Jr. Basically Caparossi had to sit up, so that's what put him on the outside. He had to sit up to avoid Cato's crash. Obviously Gibernau, I think just because everyone was checking up, I suppose, because of the crash, Gibernau then taps Kenny Jr. straight into Nakano, and that takes out poor Caparossi as well. So basically, all the crashes that happened of the first quarter were all caused by the Cato crash. Like, if it hadn't have happened, none of the others would have done, which is quite interesting to think about, because he's indirectly caused his crashes without actually touching any of the riders that fell off, except Nakano. Obviously, Nakano, he did. Don't know how he stayed on from ramming that bike, to be honest. But Nakano, obviously, on a Kawasaki at least, definitely doesn't have any luck at Mugello. But like I said, I hope you did enjoy that one. Hope you enjoyed the rest of your day. Hope you're all staying safe, and I shall see you in the next video.